What is going on, everybody? It is time for another brand new installment of Ask the Dads. Renegade of Wrestling JJ Williams here, alongside, as always, the West Coast Professor, Jeff, MRF, and Meacham. And we're not going to hit it just yet, especially since you are on magical properties, Jeff. Remind the viewers exactly where you are right now. All right. Botch. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. This is what happens when you do live on location stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm on the air at 4 p.m. every Monday. Uncle Patrick. Anyway, carry on.
Really? That's what that was?
Yep.
All right. Anywho, Jeff, remind the lovely folks at home where you are today.
I am at the definitive, not the Great Western Forum, Fabulous Forum, but the definitive happiest place on earth. I am actually outside the actual gate where you walk in and leave today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy. I am at Disneyland, the original Magic Kingdom, Walt Disney's original masterpiece outside of the amazing motion pictures he put together in the time he was on this earth. It's one of those things, Jay. We'll talk about that later. We'll get into it now. Whatever you want to do. You're running the board today, brother, so we can do it however y'all want to do it. I'm good with either way.
It's a standard episode of Ask the Dads, just waiting for the viewers to get here and start throwing questions our way. CC is here saying hello. Hello, darling.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Depending on how long we take and how long it takes her to get back to her abode, there may be a couple of bonus pictures of somebody I got to meet today, too. So we'll see if that plays out in the next hour.
Well, there you go. I mean, we've got 7 people supposedly watching us right now, but 0 comments and questions are coming through. So we'll just start off, I guess. Tell us about your day so far while we wait for the questions to come in.
So I had a plan. As you know, you and I going together here, we usually make plans. We don't sit there and lay it out like we used to because we're not completely insane and crazy people anymore. But
and the fact that we used to drive our chittens crazy with that.
our children's, our women's, yeah, everybody in the circles. So my goals today were in order: hug Mickey the Mouse. Oh, Stat Boy's here. All right, there you go. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Just kidding. Keep my hands off keep my hands away from the controls because I did that on accident. Hug Mickey the Mouse. Even though I'm in a concussed state of mind, board the Rise of Resistance and get a seat for Phantasm. Well, mission number 2 was completed right around noon. Even though I had to wait in a queue that was very not so ADA compliant. I'm surprised the scooter's in one piece, to be honest with you. By the way, the score is Park 1, Jeff 0 when it comes to the scooter hitting things. I haven't hit anybody yet. Just park property.
And just to touch on the ADA situation, you would expect something like Rise of the Resistance to be more ADA compliant, considering the fact that the ride was built within the last 5 years.
Well, the ride itself is compliant. The majority of the queue is compliant, but for some reason the inhabitants of Batu neglected to drop the rope for me to go straight through to start the queue. So I'm doing freaking hairpin turns a la freaking Turn 11 at the Grand Prix of Long Beach going, I don't do this no mo. And the scooter it's a much better scooter than the ones they rent here. I actually got it across the street over at Select. So God bless you guys over at Select Mobility Scooters at 1544 Harbor. I love you guys. This thing has been a godsend all day. You can check them out at Select Mobility Scooters and call them in the Southern Puerto Rico. If you ever need to come here and need a scooter, don't wait in the line over there. And their things are old and they suck. This is the way to go. But yeah, I was trying to make a hairpin turn, and I'm not Alan Sir Jr. I'm not Michael Andretti. I done hit the wall hard, freaking Donny Osmond style. Except I didn't flip it. There you go.
What did you think of Rise of the Resistance before we get to Mickey the Mouse and all the other spectacular characters that you met today?
So I have said for many years that the one thing that our original Tower of Terror, prior to them converting it to Guardians of the Galaxy a couple years ago, the one thing our tower was missing was the fact that it didn't leave the elevator shaft like the original does back down at Walt Disney World. Rise of the Resistance filled that gap, met that itch, provided that shot of whatever drug you prefer into your IV. So after 14 and a half years, because that's how old the boy is, God help me, I have a new favorite ride / attraction where you actually board something experience in Disney parks, and it is very much Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, I was gonna say this isn't a ride or an attraction. This is an immersive experience.
Yes. Yeah, and I have been told by my friends in Imagineering, including my dad's been trying to tell me about it for a year. I'm like, don't tell me anything. I haven't even watched. Me. I'll watch the POVs on YouTube to see what I'm getting into. I have not watched a single moment of this ride. And I was so glad I didn't, man. I can see where every facet of Imagineering was involved one way or the other in this, man. Everybody went to work on this. You think you had Lucasfilm and the Imagineers together on this. And it shows in volume. So good. I can't recommend everybody. And I believe there's one also back at Disney World. So whatever coast you be on, whatever coast you're closest to, get your butt to the parks and board this thing. You will thank me later.
Most definitely. Michael, I see your question. We will get to it as soon as Jeff finishes running down his day so far here at the Magic Kingdom. So stay tuned for that.
So before I went over to Galaxy's Edge, because long story short, Toontown is being overhauled. Like the complete area is closed down because they're adding. Give me the right name again. I forget the name of the ride itself. They're putting it back there. Something very similar to what they have at what used to be the Great Movie Ride in Florida. It's a Mickey's racing thing.
Oh, the Runaway Railway thing?
That's the one. So they've got Toontown completely. You can't even go under the tunnel into the land itself. It's completely cut off. If they have meet and greets over there, they have like Donald by Small World, I'm told. He's the one of the Fab Five I missed today in Town Square. I was bummed. Because by the time I came back from Fort LeJohn, as I call it, at Six Flags, he was already gone in for the day. However, I did meet everybody else, and I was very ecstatic to see the Fab Five because they can't appear at Goofy's Bounce House, Donald's Boat, Mickey's house, Minnie's house. So they are all out here en masse. And so
We're going to start going through the pictures as you uploaded them in order. So just go ahead and briefly talk about them as we shoot through here.
And again, this was a screen cap we had to edit because we actually shot a video for Dee Dee saying we missed her because we all know you and I know Pluto's her guy. So yeah, cool to see.
Top dog in Dee Dee's life.
Top dog, and the guy in line was giving Pluto a static. I'm like, you realize that's the boss's dog? And he fell out laughing. I'm like, no, you don't laugh. Quit messing with the dog, take a picture, move on. So that's pretty funny. Goofy, I did these specifically for Uncle Mikey because he's Uncle Goofy to us all, and Goofy was digging it, and there you go. So once again, Uncle Goofy goofed up by saying Goody instead of Goofy because Uncle Mikey does Uncle Goofy things.
He corrected himself.
He did correct himself, yes. But cool to see the leader of the Goof Troop. And by the way, I was watching stuff last night to kind of get myself in the mood. They had the entire run of the Disney Afternoon opening theme songs on there. I heard Goof Troop the first time in a long time. I was like, damn, all in the childhood feels.
Try hearing the Goof Troop theme song while Bill Farmer's in front of you and not sing along.
Right? Yeah, dude, I've met Bill twice. Both times it's been us falling out laughing at stupid jokes, so I'm kind of good. This one's adorable. So,
Minnie looks like she changed her outfit up slightly.
They did, but both her and the head mouse in charge definitely have changed her outfit a little bit. And also, I found out the reason they changed their faces, that was a Shanghai thing first. And over here we went, you know what? That looks good. We'll do that. So, but yeah, I wasn't sure. I'm like, are we doing hugs? I wasn't sure because Minnie's not really a hugger because I know there's usually females that are friends with Mickey and Minnie. And Richard, I'm in California, by the way, not Florida. And there's Ariel. It was funny. I didn't know that they're not telling people who the princesses are in the fantasy fair, but I heard, I'm having trouble with some of my human legs. I'm like, well, I know who this is. So I got to tell her, Ariel, which, one of my favorites. And then the next slide is a first for me because this is the first time I've met Belle not wearing the gown, right? I've never met Belle wearing her.
I have a picture of Belle in this outfit. I've only seen her once like this as well. Honestly, I bumped into her in this over by the Animation Academy.
Yes, I remember that. I remember you talking about that.
I have a picture of her in this outfit inside of those halls.
Yes, so I ran the corner. I was like, "Whoa, Belle in blue! This is new for me." And she was all tickled to see that stuff. And I got to tell both of them, "See you tonight at 10:30," and they both got a chuckle out of it because they know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm wearing the freaking stuff right now. So, unfortunately, there was no Snow White. So I can't tell it anyway because they took her out of the show. You got this. And then Rapunzel was actually doing her stage show across the way in the theater thing, so I didn't get to see her either. But from there we go to, okay, this is a first ever for me in any park. And I've been to Florida and here. Gaston, the stalker crazy person that he is, was hovering outside the fantasy fair where Belle happens to be about 10 feet away. This guy, whatever he does when he's not Gaston, he used to be a Jungle Cruise skipper, if you catch my drift on the jokes and the deadpan. This dude sold it like a boss. So Gastonian. It was amazing.
Okay, I have a question for you because I'm looking at this picture and obviously it's Gaston. I can tell it's Gaston.
Right.
But looking at this outfit, does it not look like Dick Grayson's Robin outfit?
I didn't want to say it in front of him and send him off into a freaking narcissistic spin, but yeah, I thought that. I'm like, wow, Dick Grayson's at Disneyland, cool. Yeah. And then there's this. Okay, so walk up to the mouse. He sees what I'm wearing, and he starts doing the freaking pantomime in the next shot. He's all into it because, I'm going, and I'm like, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here, Mickey. And then this, of course, is why I'm here. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see my face because it's not be able to zoom in, but man, I am just all of it because the last time I saw him,
you are in that picture.
I didn't send you the video. I freaking skipped up to him like I was a freaking toddler, dude. It was ridiculous how happy I was. The last time I saw Mickey was on his birthday, and he was up on the porch at the house. So he's about as far away as I'll say the youngster in blue there is right now. Like it was far enough where it's like, and the time before that it wasn't Mickey, but it was approved by Brett. It was Mickey. So it's been a minute since I saw the mouse up close. So it was really cool to see the boss. Very cool. And now it's just do this with you as we've been looking forward to. Go get me some Pizza Planet Fusilli because I can afford it. Because I was able to cancel my Hungry Bear reservation thanks to my little attachment here. I'm going to go sit by the petrified stump and not have to pay $35 for food I really didn't want in the first place. I like Hungry Bear's menu, but I'd rather have chicken fusilli. You know me and the Pizza Planet.
Oh yeah,
So
Mikey is stoked about the Bell and Blue. It looks like he can see what we're talking about as far as the Robin outfit.
yes. Thank you,
CC
CC.
saying
Yeah,
how awesome it is.
it has been, other than Rise needing me having to go to the dude, telling you, when it's not so bloody hot and it's not so bloody expensive for us to fly to Tennessee, dude, we're on it like flies on poo. I promise. Other than Rise Resistance needing me to go to first aid to Tylenol up the post-concussion symptoms. Well, the ride itself combined with crashing this thing into the wall, my neck was going, yeah, you're going to Main Street, Bubba. I don't want to go to that. One place in the park you still have to wear a mask. Have to indoors. Most of the time they just recommend it. They're actually, whoops, there goes my headset, earpiece. First aid you have to, because obviously medical, they don't want to get the medical folks sick in case. Regardless of vaccination status. It's like, I get it. So yeah, gonna go eat the fusilli, and then it's literally just kill time. Because I have to queue up for Fantasmic till 7, so
you're gonna have to do a little Facebook live stream or something as you're on the banks awaiting the nighttime spectacle.
I'll try to do it on the tweeter so I don't get completely dinged right away, because Lord knows Facebook's dinging me for the Disney stuff too, as my Main Street audience found out last year, and probably will find out next week. So but I do have a Twitter page set up for that, so we'll see.
First question to come in from Michael Gonzalez, which I said we'd come back to. He wants to know where Seth Rollins goes after his feud with Cody.
We kind of talked about it last night during the brief open mic night we ran. I think Cody's injury only behooves Seth.
Yeah, I personally agree. I think that at this point in time, Seth Rollins is your odds-on favorite to win Money in the Bank.
Yep, I agree.
Because if the grand plan has always been Cody wins the title at Mania to have that huge moment, you know, reclaiming the title for his father, then you've got Seth with the briefcase.
Yep.
And does he cash in immediately following the win and try to steal the moment from Cody? Or does he bide his time for a better moment? And is there really a better moment after taking the strap off of Roman? Because assuming Roman is still champion come Mania, and Roman is who Cody beats at Mania, you're going to be battered and bruised coming out of the match with the Tribal Chief.
Yep.
Or does Seth cash in prior to, and Cody returns to face Seth for the title at Mania?
I would go with that scenario if I had my druthers. And like I pointed out last night, when did Seth cash in the first time? What state were they in?
I wasn't watching.
California. Northern California, up where the team that Christian likes, I don't say on the air because they wear red and white and they play, you know, with the team name that was a part of the Gold Rush back here in the 1800s. But they were at the Levi Stadium, and Seth cashed in during the match and became champion. So California Dreamin' could be coming Seth's way if he plays his cards right. And this time it's in SoCal where they know how to party. So knows how to party. So yeah, and Mikey, I do miss the railroad. I was going to try to board it after I was done here, but it's going to be quicker for me because again, for those of you that aren't aware of this is actually a little known fact to you non-Disney dorks. Main Street USA Station, the railroad station here above me, is the only station in the parks en masse around the world that don't have ADA access. And the reason it does not is because years ago it was deemed a historical landmark by the state of California, which means it cannot be touched for any reason, even by the people that own it, which is Disney. So if you want to board the Grand Circle Tour of the Magic Kingdom, you have to go at least to Frontierland Orleans Square, if not even free, which is inconvenient for us kids on the scooters. But, you know, the only time I'd really want to board here is if I could ride the Lily Bell, and Lily Bell is so gone so quickly that kind of like, catch it next time when I don't have to use the ADA stuff.
There we go. Richard brings up an interesting point. Says he is so confused with the whole undisputed belt situation. Is it going to be one belt, or can someone take the WWE title off of Roman and the Universal title for SmackDown, like Bobby hinted at last night? I think originally they were going to do an undisputed belt. I had heard rumors of a belt being commissioned and made for Roman, a single solitary belt.
Right.
But I kind of feel at this point it's going to be like you and some of the others have spoken of, where when it's time to dethrone the tribal chief, someone from SmackDown is going to take the Universal, someone from Raw is going to take the WWE title. That way Roman is title-less going into the potential rumored still match against Dwayne at WrestleMania in Hollywood.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't. Like I said, and we'll keep on saying until I'm bluer in the face and the text looks on my StreamYard thing here. The Roman Rock match is one of those main events that does not need the championship. If you notice, Rock's great main events or series-ending main events, WrestleMania, have not been for the championship. Figure his match with Austin that ended the feud that he won, the match with Hogan, the match with Cena that he won, and potentially the match with Roman. No title, just sheer pride from the most electrifying man in all of entertainment. So I don't think it needs it. You're going to see me move here. I want to make sure I get a guidebook before they run out because they're getting low, and the guidebook has Elliot from the Manchester Parade, so I definitely want to get that while I'm thinking about it.
Nice. That's fine.
I'm not seeing the parade, but
if you want to move around just a smidge there while we wait some more comments and questions to come in, come on, people. I'm surprised that the chat room is not blowing up right now with questions. It is unusual to be sure.
Yes, I'm also trying to cut across traffic, which is always an adventure. Oh, this is cool. I never noticed this before here. Just check this out, though. Not only do they have it in English, but they have it in other languages. That's pretty cool. I never noticed that before.
Yes, I've seen that before because I've grabbed a few for my people in Hong Kong and
oh, nice.
Paris.
Oh, yeah, the pin folks. Yeah, that's true.
CJ chimes in and says, I think it's better with two belts, but they can do what they want. Sadly, I don't watch much wrestling anymore. CJ, you're in the same position that I was about a decade ago, man. I became so discouraged and disgruntled by the product that
slow and steady wins the race, kids.
It just was disheartening to tune in.
Well, you have to keep in mind, Jay, that CJ is also very much a Atlanta Braves and Major League Baseball fan, and they are up in the thick of it now, coming into June. So, he's watching his Braves baseball right now on the Turners, among other things.
Which means you'd think he'd be already tuned in for Dynamite and Rampage on the Turner networks.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if – I don't think Ted or the Turner organization owns the Braves outright anymore, so I'm not sure if they have an exclusivity like they did during the WCW era because, man, talk about cross-promotion. Holy bejeebus.
Yeah, personally, I prefer it with one belt. I prefer one champion across both brands.
Yes.
Well, I think there's more opportunities for the stuff like we had last night. Hell in a Cell was main evented by a blood feud, not a championship match. If we have one champion, we can have more moments like that, not just on the PLEs, but across Raw and SmackDown as well. We can have Raws and SmackDowns headlined by, the Intercontinental title, the United States title, the Usos with their unified tag straps, Bianca and Ronda with the women's titles.
We
saved the one champion like they did back in the days for the big shows.
Yes, as I felt they always should. I really have. Can you hear the music, dude? I'm so happy. Sorry. Main Street music.
Ken terminated by DQ here. What up, everyone?
What up, Ken? Good to see you. Oh, there goes my guidebook. I'll get it later. It's all right. Should have packed away better.
I prefer the one title thing, and I prefer
I do too.
As well. boost the mid card.
Nice shirt. Go Kings.
You know,
It's funny.
Richard says
But
that Jeff hit a chop block to get through the people.
hey, you know what? Don't encourage me because I will do it. JJ knows.
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
CJ says the Braves are now on Bailey Southeast, and Mikey points out that Liberty Media owns the Braves, not Turner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The Braves moved to Valley kind of like because I know the Braves are on the Fox Sports outlet out there in Georgia, like the Kings are still. And when Valley Sports took over the Fox stuff, everybody moved. So
Piggybacking on the one title thing, CJ says, I understand the argument for one belt, but don't you think the roster is just too big for one championship?
no, I don't.
I'm
I
going
don't
to
anyway.
echo Jeff's sentiments. I say no because at this point in time, think about it. Who is a legitimate threat that is a main event talent, that is a long-term contracted superstar, that's not someone they can bring in for a special guest shot like Brock, like Goldberg, like Rocky? Who's a legitimate threat? Nobody. So if you have two championships, so Roman's holding two. If you unify them into one, you've got all this talent that you've got the opportunity to build up new contenders.
There you go. And JJ, it's funny. I did have one over at DCA with our buddies Jessica and Robbie, but I still have not had a Main Street USA red cart corn dog yet in my life.
Get your butt over there and get one while we're on the show.
Well, I want to. Where are we at time wise?
We're not even at 4:30 yet.
Okay. The only thing with doing that is I have to go off camera to place the order.
Yeah,
So
don't do
give me a
that.
second. Give me a second. I'll turn around. Stay. Good camera. Stay. Good earbuds. Okay. Turn radius of the footmobile. Don't mind me.
Michael
Jesus
Gonzalez
Christ.
says it might be too early to predict, but who do you guys think wins Money in the Bank? I would like to see Owens win it. He may
I'd be
have
okay with
came in a
Kevin winning
little
it.
bit late, but I feel like Seth, like we said, is the odds-on favorite.
Yes.
You know, do you
I'd
have
be okay
one
with
briefcase or
no.
two briefcases?
Yeah, I mean, you figure that, yeah, with two world championships, although they've had two world championships, they still have only one briefcase. So I would say keep it men's and women's, you know? Even still. Okay, I'm going to make this easier on myself. I'm going to go do the mobile order thing and find out how much it's going to be and then text the financial department of WG Network and get the money loaded. So I'm going to get in the shade here so I don't burn to a tomato crisp.
By the way, Mike says, great moving shot. It's amazing to see the park again.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the suggestion to move. All right. I shall return in just a moment. You'll probably be able to hear me, but you'll be able to see me. So stand by.
Sounds good. Red 5 standing by.
Red 5 standing by. Yeah. Okay, let's see here.
Well, I'll come back to this question once Jeff comes back on camera. CJ, okay. My favorite championship belt of all time. That's a tough one because honestly, my favorite championship belts have never been the world titles. I've always loved the look of the European Championship and the original NWA TNA X Division titles.
Yes.
Those are probably my two favorite championship belts of all time. You know, I know the European title wasn't the greatest championship of all time, but something about the way it looked just really drew my eyes to it when I first came into the game. And when I first came in, it was being held by guys like X-Pac, D'Lo Brown, and Shane McMahon.
Right.
You know, it was probably some of the best times in the European title history. You know, with those guys holding it. No disrespect to the men who made the title, like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, British Bulldog, Owen Hart. but I feel like once X-Pac got it, for all the crap that gets heaped on Sean Waltman, I feel like he really took the European title to the next level, and that feud with him and D'Lo really made that belt special.
Yes, I would agree. I think as awesome as Bulldog and yeah, Sean was kind of in his early DX Deucedom at the time, but he still made the European Championship awesome too. But I really think the members of DX, specifically Hunter and later X Pac, carrying that really put the title on the map. And like you said, his feud with D'Lo put it over the top.
Let me see here. Ken says the Eagle belt.
Oh yeah, I've made no bones about the fact of my love of the Winged Eagle. So much so that I had Conrad actually re-up my subscription for $29 just to get the video of Title Chase where he talks about the history of that belt. Oh, here comes the band. Hang on a second. So I can get it on camera in time here. Oh, they're walking away. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Phil. There you go, the Disneyland marching band making a cameo appearance on Ask the Dads, exclusively on the Jeff Meacham Network and the Casa DHT Studios channel.
And wait for it, the Dapper Dans as well.
There we go.
They've been singing all day. I love me some Dapper Dans. Okay, so do me a favor and put Ken's comment about the TV belt up.
Sure.
Very bottom there. No. There you go. Nope. There we go. The TV belt looks fine. The 10 pounds of red gold, oh my God, that was a hideous abomination of nature. And the one they redid during the Pierce era was even worse. Like, at least the one they did in the 70s had like, okay, we're doing something different, so we're going to tradition. They basically just re-leathered the belt when Pierce got it back with red leather, and it looked even Pierce shat on it. It pooped on it. God, I forgot where it was. Bad.
So the question that I pulled off when you went off screen is, when do you start the build for Theory versus Cena?
Right now.
I think you started at Money in the Bank.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like Theory needs to be one of the individuals in the match. Considering he is a McMahon protege gimmick-wise, despite the fact that he's United States champion currently, I feel like he needs to be in that Money in the Bank match. Because we always talk about how the mid-card titles should elevate people to the next level.
Yes.
So you throw him in that match, and even if Theory doesn't win, he's getting that chance to shine on that level for the briefcase, for the title shot. And then coming off the heels of defeat, he can start pushing towards Cena, calling him out, making open challenges like Cena did back in the days. Come on out, who's going to try and beat me for the United States title? And then at SummerSlam, those horns hit.
Yes.
And Cena comes out to answer the challenge. That's how I'd book it. That's Renegade's booking.
I like it. You talked me into it.
Let me see. Let me go down to the bottom here, see if
I like CJ's question. That's a good question.
What brought me back to wrestling? Honestly, doing shows with this man.
Yeah.
Because in doing the top 10s like we did in the early days of the Dad's resurgence, I had to go on and watch modern day Survivor Series, Manias, Rumbles, King of the Ring tournaments, etc., to be able to rank my lists properly and give the proper due to the modern day talent. And I watched day one. I watched the Rumble, because the Rumble has always been my favorite show.
Yes.
I watched the Chamber in Country Redacted.
Yes.
And then from that point on,
oh my goodness,
watching Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And I had been absent from the product long enough that I could get sucked back into what was happening in a modern sense.
Yes.
I had been gone for about a decade, and while, yes, I still watch sometimes and say, this isn't as good as it was back then,
Right.
I'm captivated by what's being presented to me on a weekly basis.
Which is the best way to do it.
Especially with the bloodline.
Oh,
And
shit.
I did not want to acknowledge Roman Reigns.
No, I know you didn't.
I still have not completely acknowledged Roman Reigns.
No, I
However,
know.
I do acknowledge the bloodline as a whole, and goddamn if that's not some of the best television on SmackDown.
Yeah, right? Sorry for the crappy camera angle, y'all. I'm trying to get things freaking condensed here so I'm not dropping stuff. I dropped freaking poor plush Mickey on the dang ground over here.
It's all right. Going back to the Kevin Steen comments,
Oh,
Richard
yes.
says Kevin needs something. He hasn't been a champion in any capacity since 2017.
Really? I guess that's true. Wow. Well, you know what happened there? He got sucked into the Shane McMahon feud vortex. What happened there?
Well, you know
And
what I'd like to see now that they're back on the same page? I'd like to see Kevin and Sammy make a run at the Usos.
yes, please.
You
Pretty
know,
please with sugar on top.
Win, loss, whatever. I'd love to see the two of them make a run back at the Usos, even if it ends up turning into them reigniting their feud in the long run. I love seeing the fact that they're together again.
Yes.
What years did I not watch? I basically stopped watching after WrestleMania 30.
Roughly. Yeah, right around there.
Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania 30 was pretty much the last major thing that I remember seeing.
Yep.
I did watch the occasional show here and there, SummerSlams, Rumbles, Manias, etc. But full time, I haven't really watched since 2014 until this year.
I am, and I still say a good chunk of that was, and again, not that you stopped watching because of that, but I was very disenchanted with the fact that they took SummerSlam away from us because, like, we had our own pay-per-view that identified, like, summer. You go to California for summer vacation. It's where the sunshine is. It's where the beaches are. It's where all the parties are. It's, Florida also. But, yeah, the fact that they moved it to New York, it was like, I don't like that. So
I'd say
I was
alternate
bummed.
coasts. Alternate
Yeah.
coasts. The odd years, put it somewhere like Florida, Miami Beach. The even years, put it in LA.
Yeah. And I said that for a while. I also have said for a long time they do not need to put Mania on the East Coast in no roof domes. Again, like yesterday, like I talked about, looking at Green Bay, although they're not going to WrestleMania at Green Bay. You're right. But like MetLife, come on, man. There's no roof on that place. That is stupid. And I get it, it's the New York area. That's about as New York as this is to LA. I mean, seriously, give me a break.
CJ says, boohoo, Atlanta's had one pay-per-view since 2015.
That's not my fault.
Yeah, talk to WWE Creative.
I'm going to say WCW ran there. Vince is bitter critter about that city.
I'm going to make a bold statement here.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I'm listening.
If.
Also checking my food, so go ahead.
I'm going to say it one more time. If.
Yes.
Cody wins the title at Mania, as everybody expects him to do.
Right.
Do not be surprised if Backlash is not in Atlanta.
Right. That's where it needs to be.
The home of WCW.
The home of Cody. Georgia. Marietta, but it's still there. My food is ready. Main Street cold dog.
They see me rolling. They hate me.
Can't stand the
God
fact
is
that
here.
I'm white
Hello,
nerdy.
Scott. Thank you for joining us, albeit late in the game.
All right, brother. Better late than never.
That's right. We still got 20 minutes for anybody that wants to get their questions and comments
And there's
thrown up
super
here and
chats.
answered by the dads. Yes, super chats. Don't forget, if we can get up to $400, I am going to take clippers to my hair. We've made about 1250 of that so far, so we got like 387.50 still to go. It's a long way to
26?
go.
3426? Thank you. Sorry, I can't multitask. Thank you. Oh, okay, no, not Sarah, but thank you. All right, back is sitting in a corner here. All right, nobody puts Jeffrey in a corner except Jeffrey. If you understand that reference, you're all enough for the room.
I don't think Wisconsin, where I'm at, will ever see a WrestleMania. We got Lambeau
No, it
Field.
won't.
The weather can't be a reason not to, since last year saw a damn rainstorm. That's accurate, but you've also got to figure WrestleMania is usually in March or April. There's no reason why Lambeau Field can't get a Mania.
They
Is
still
it going
snow
to
in March
host
and April
the
back there.
Rumble? Is it going to host a Rumble? Probably not.
No.
But I feel like WrestleMania, that's something we can go for. And you know what? Snowfall during a Mania would be awesome. Let's be real. As long as
Well,
we're
yeah,
not
for you.
talking about a blizzard, but snowfall during Mania, dude, that would be epic.
Yeah, for us
You
watching
have
at home,
freaking
for the
have freaking
production, it would be a
Cody come
nightmare.
running out there in his Santa Claus suit. Santa Claus makes an appearance at Mania because it's snowing.
Don't be encouraging that nonsense. Come on now. It would be a production nightmare for that team, man. They would lose their poo poo. I covered that one. Do you like that one? Lose their poo poo. Good grief. I'm
CJ said
definitely at
he missed
Disneyland.
the show last night. Was it good enough for me to watch it?
Yep.
YES.
Yes.
And when you watch it, rewatch our watch along as you watch it. That way you get
Yes.
my commentary as well as the Simple Man Noah Foster's,
Yes.
because we've gotten a hell of a lot of positive feedback over this weekend, Jeff. And I know as the owner of the channel, you can go a little bit more in depth onto that.
Yep. After I take my very first bite of the actual Main Street Red Wagon corn dog.
There we go.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. that is JJ01 hashtag the business.
Yeah, Ken says it all, dude. Did you see Cody's performance?
Right.
Dude walked out there battered, bruised, torn pec and all. And he still managed to wrestle for 25 minutes inside of a cell. It was bonkers. Like complete and utter bonkers. And I'm trying to stall just a smidge right now as I load a photo in here. That
Yeah,
way
and
you
not
can
bonkers.
get a full example as to what we saw, because it was nuts.
And not bonkers like Disney Afternoon bonkers, because that show kind of derailed the thing. We're talking about
Yeah,
bonkers as in Cody's a madman for wrestling like he was. So this is a main. It's from the Little Red Wagon cart over at the end of Main Street, just before you get to the hub, Scott, and it cost me $10. But it came with a Mandarin Orange, if that
but
helps.
$10 well worth it.
Oh yeah.
Well worth it. I still have not had a corn dog nor a turkey leg from the Disney parks. Those are things that I still need to accomplish in my Disney fandom.
Turkey legs one of those things you don't eat the rest of the day prior, or it ends up, on the floor of the apartment in the same exact condition, looking wise, a year later, and you go, that's like McDonald's status. That's a little weird.
All right, so here
That's
we go.
nasty.
I just saved it, so should be uploading into the thing now. Here we go.
Oh my god, that's horrible. Oh, and that's at the end. It looked black and blue at the beginning too, but the match made the red, the veins kind of pop out even worse.
Yeah, that is like legit right there.
Mm-hmm. That's
Ken
crazy.
says that Noah will make Joey Styles' mouth wide open.
Oh yeah. Noah's an amazing. Like, I'm so glad we stumbled upon this gem to carry our commentary through these PLEs.
Scott says that image hurts me to look at.
Dude, I've known or been acquainted with two wrestlers, prominent wrestlers, that tore their pec in the course of a match or in the course of a story. And man, it is no joke. I hope, for the sake of the run and for the sake of the momentum, that Cody's recovery time matches or at least gets close to John's.
CJ says
Because
that Cody's pec is up there with Charlie Morton pitching the World Series with a broken leg. And
that
then
was some.
Ken adds in, or Sid breaking his leg.
Ken bringing
Because,
our own jokes back to us.
I was going to say, we had to get that in there. I saw that pop up, and we haven't done the Sid joke for a minute, so we had to get that in there.
Definitely not live yet.
A Pizzle says, ooh, corn dogs.
No. Not corn dogs. Disneyland corn dogs that you think are too expensive. They're not. It's worth the $10.
Noah, who I like to call a commentary machine.
Seriously, he is every bit the Kurt Angle of our commentary team. I'm being so rude. I'm making all this noise. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, it's all good. It's all good. You got to enjoy it, man. You're at the parks for the first time in forever. Hopefully, we don't get copyright dinged on that, but you know.
It's the freaking music I made sure you didn't copyright us. That sure won't. Jesus. Yeah, so I don't recall the last time I've been here by myself. Like, I don't think I've done this in my maybe my adult life, but not in my time as a father. I don't think I've ever done this by myself. If I do, I don't remember it because of all the freaking brain blows to the brain. But it's been a minute since I did this, so it's one of those, like, I'm over here now in the corner by the first aid, just like I have my corn dog in peace and do this in peace, kind of calm before the storm type thing, you know. But
the fact you're
the
trying
weather
to
is
do something at Disneyland in peace is not lost on me.
Yeah. Well, originally I was set up outside because of, meeting up with my buddy. I was over by the fountain there as you're walking, those of you that have been to Disneyland, walking toward the trams in downtown Disney from the Magic Kingdom, but it was going to be too loud, and she actually had to tap in. She had a reservation still, and if you don't make a reservation, I guess they ding you now.
Oh, wow.
Like, they made a strike against you, so she had to tap in just so she wouldn't get the Mask of Mafia after her butt. So, yeah, she came all the way down here, tapped in, did our selfie, we had a conversation, and then she bounced right back to the house. So God bless her for it, man. I am so appreciative of all the friends I've made through doing this crazy stuff that I've yearned to be successful at for so long. It's all the facets are coming together, and I'm so grateful to everybody. All you guys watching there, the gentleman here next to me, the friends I've made out of fans, and vice versa. It's just a very rewarding thing on my brain and on my soulless ginger heart.
There you go. CJ asks, did any championships change hands last night? There were only 2 title matches, right? The U.S. title that Theory defended and the women's title that Bianca defended.
There was a change on Saturday.
Yeah, but that wasn't last night. That was on the NXT show.
I'm just pointing out I'm adding conjecture to the conversation, because there was a title change this weekend in WWE. It just wasn't on the main roster.
Yeah, and that just shows the difference between the two brands right there. The WWE main roster show had 2 title matches.
Yep.
The NXT show, which had 6 matches, which one less than what the WWE main roster offered, had 1 non-title match.
Yeah, every belt NXT was on the line on Saturday. Every single one of them. Ridiculous.
So,
WWE is,
Yeah,
and again,
I mean, we go all the time about the Intercontinental title and the fact that it hasn't been on pay-per-view for 3 years now.
BS.
You had Ronda could have had her title match against Natty on the pay-per-view. Ricochet could have had his title match with Gunther on the show. Even if Roman's not going to defend, why weren't the Usos in action against Riddle and Nakamura, or Riddle and insert person here? or against Holland and Sheamus, or
Something like
Butch
that.
and Holland, something.
Yes. Here, okay. All right, we're gonna try this with holding the camera so it doesn't go diggly like I was going over here. I'm gonna head for Tomorrowland when we get out there and have my din.
Scott says he hasn't been to Disney in about 15 years. He needs to go back.
Oh,
Yeah, that definitely means that you need a trip.
well, Scott, I know you're an East Coaster. Have you been to either park in 15, or just been to Florida in 15 and never been here? Is my question.
CJ says, met you one day, Jeff. I need to come to Cali and hang out with you and me.
Yeah, CJ was
We'd
one of the
love
guys that met
to.
me in Atlanta. It's good to
We'd
see
love
him.
to kick it with you, CJ. See if you can
Absolutely.
get out here for Mania. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're
Oh,
about 10 minutes out from the start of Raw live,
yes.
as it is every week on the USA Network. So we'll give
Yes.
you guys a few opportunities, a few more moments to try to get some last minute questions in while we start running through our plugs here,
Yes,
our
sir.
shameless plugs.
It's time for the Shameless Shield.
Do you want me to start with the kitty's picture or start with the talk wrestling?
The kitty's picture isn't a plug. I just leave it there in case I need to reference back to it because it's that awesome.
Perfect. All right. So tomorrow, here on the Jeff Meacham Network, the
That's
Greg
me.
Cherry brand, the Casa D18 Studios, and NoDQ.com, the flagship of the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk
Yes.
Wrestling, will be live and on the air.
That's me.
Wednesday at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 Eastern, over on Renegade's Reviews, exclusively on the Casa D18 Studios channel, will be my
Yes.
coverage of Wayne's World 2, starring Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Tia Carrere, Christopher Walken, and others.
Party on, Jay.
Party on, Jeff.
There you go.
At 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern, Jeff will be on the Greg Cherry Show alongside the man himself, the Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion, Greg Cherry.
Yes. Yes, sir.
No one knows exactly what Greg has in store, but you know that there will be weird state laws, wheel spins aplenty if donations
Well,
come
I
through.
can announce something that he's doing. Um, in addition to our fundraiser as our thing for you shaving your head, if the Greg Cherry Show and the episode Jack of All Trades for June combined generate $150, the first episode in July, which will actually air July 7th, a Thursday, because he's going to the Pirates game on July 6th because he's a glutton for punishment, clearly. That show, July 7th, will feature the Greg Cherry Show Spinapalooza, which means free spins for the entire hour.
Ooh,
So,
there you
if
go.
you tune into that show and we've hit that milestone, you could spin for free and land on an opportunity to challenge for the WTC World Championship that Greg has had a stranglehold on for well over 1,000 days. The end approaching 1,500, I do believe.
That's an incentive to get those donations in
I'm
there.
saying. I'm saying.
On Thursday, back over on the Casa D18 Studios channel, will be my review of episode 3 of
As
the
I pass
Star
Star
Wars
Tours.
Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Friday, Young Guns, starring Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen, Dermot Mulroney, and Casey Siemesco.
Crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
Saturday, Renegade reviews new release
Saturday.
film,
Saturday.
Good Morning, starring Machine Gun Kelly, Becky G, Dove Cameron, Pete Davidson, Whitney Cummings, Megan Fox, amongst a slew of others.
Every dang buddy, in other words.
And then that evening, the Jeff Meacham Network is a glutton for punishment,
Yes.
as they will be presenting their coverage of Always Ready, the
Yes.
NWA show, beginning with pre-show predictions at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern, watch-along coverage reactions beginning at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, and then only a couple hours later,
Yeah.
Dominion from the Osaka Joe Hall beginning at 1 Eastern which is 10 Pacific. So they're maybe going to get about 2 hours to do some open mic night stuff. In between, get bathroom breaks, take some 5-hour energy shots, eat something, maybe take a quick hour-long power nap. And then Sunday, back on the Casa D18 Studios channel, it is another episode of The War Zone, the weekly acquisition report, where you'll get to see some of the newest additions to my ever-growing movie library. And then 1 week from today, Jeff and I, the dads, not always on wrestling, will be back to discuss our top 10 movie soundtracks. Pay no attention to the times there. It'll actually be at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. Renegade's reviews will be bumped up as we normally do when we do our top 10s to give us the correct amount of time to properly address our subject matter.
I had the graphic for you Monday, but it's not in the folder I need it to be in right now. But he's doing Young Guns too, y'all.
It's okay.
I had to botch at least once. Forgive me.
Of course. It's become the thing now. It's become the thing now. Scott, with a $5 super chat, halfway for another corn dog.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, buddy. I appreciate that. Although the freaking YouTube cut, you know.
I don't know if he'll use that for a corn dog. He may use that for some caffeine to help get him through the evening.
You know, it's funny you mentioned
asthmatic, and he's got to be up until the wee hours of the morning.
That's right. Put it this way. You mentioned the energy drinks. I had forgotten. So I'm in line to see Ariel and Belle. I fell asleep at the wheel, legit, dude. I freaking pushed things forward, almost took a little girl out. I felt it hit her. It turns out I hit the wall, but I was freaking. I'm like, all right, that's enough of that. Grabbed the second monster I had for the day, threw that back. Now that's why I'm like right now. So there you go.
Scott says he has been to Disney in Florida, just
okay,
not LA yet.
We need to get the man out here to Cali, man, because as much as I adore Disney World, I know JD's not been yet. We are working on that. There is nothing quite like the only Magic Kingdom in the entire world that Walt actually walked through.
Exactly. I speak from personal bias, and despite the fact that Disney World still has my Country Bears, still has the Carousel of Progress, still has a bunch of the shows that I grew up on out here that are no longer out here,
yes,
I can emphatically say that nothing will beat walking the park that Walt walked.
Now, if there was one thing I would have done today that I did not get to do because they're still not doing the regular people tours, Danielle gets to do VIPs because very important people are, more worthy of a, there you go, that'd be great, Scott. Disneyland at Christmas time is a thing of beauty. For the record.
Saving and waiting until WrestleMania next year. Hit a 2-for-1.
There you go. Yeah. Disney's not too far from Inglewood, despite, it's on separate freeways, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but, it's actually not a far shoot over to the 5 from the Forum either.
It's really not. And you figure that if LA is going to have the pay-per-view, then either the Raw or SmackDown prior or the Raw and SmackDown afterwards could very easily be Staples Center South, as we like to call it, the Honda Center.
Well, if they stick to normal pattern, they will have SmackDown, Hall of Fame, and Raw at the place formerly known as Staples Center, and then they may move SmackDown or even tape an NXT at the Ponza Center or whatever the case may be. So do not be surprised if some sort of WWE action does not take place, because clearly they're not going to be too busy in April because the Ducks will be down the last 2 or 3 games anyway. So.
What is our favorite version of the tag championships? CJ's is the old SmackDown belt.
Yeah, no, not those for me. Got to go with the original World Tags from the 80s.
Yeah, I would tend to go with that if I'm going WWE, although I always preferred either the ECW tag titles or the NWA World Tag Team titles.
Now, you're talking the old, the giant blue bunnies that originated with the Horsemen, right? The ones they carried
Yeah.
over into TNA. Yeah, those were good. I like ECW tag belts. I thought they were a little too. I know it's funny to think of ECW doing anything gaudy, but I feel the ECW tag straps were a little gaudy. The original tag straps that were intercontinental shaped, well, I like those. Those were okay. Yeah, my favorite tag belts, including the Attitude Era adorned logo ones, are the World Tags from the mid '80s into the brand extension era. Those things were sharp. My favorite is the bronze tag Bret Hart brought out. Um, the press pennies kind of bug. They always have. I mean, I appreciate that Bret brought it out. I appreciate that TJ and Harry got them, but yeah, they bug. They just do. I'm sorry, Scott. You're our boy. We love you. But yeah, the press pennies bug, and the fact that they evolved the tag titles into Raw and SmackDown being the freaking press nickels. Yeah, those are awful too. WWE tag belts. Okay, now here's my question then, Scott. Are we talking WWE tag belts prior to the Outsiders getting their own and those becoming the championships? Or are we talking those belts? Because the pre-Outsider tag belts were around from like 90. I want to say when they established the NWW separate brand tag titles in 92, all the way up until they're the ECW belts.
You're saying
Again,
that one is gaudy?
I think so, personally, yes.
I always kind of liked it. I always liked the red and then the scratch barbed wire and the ECW logo, the purple intake on the inside because you know me in purple.
Yeah.
I
always thought the TNN/Taz era and beyond ECW belts were a little too busy, and again ECW is a busy in and of itself, but I just now I'm like I don't even like the one Rob got handed. I like the one he still owns, the Winged Eagle looking one. That's my favorite ECW belt. Period. It always has been. But yeah, the WWE tag belts, I think they debuted those when they had the tournament for the NWA Championship. So those are like, it's around 91, 92. It's the one Cactus threw down. It's the one the Steiners threw down at the feet of the Outsiders at the announce table. I like those, I think, a little bit better than the NWO bought ones that became the official tag belts all the way to the very end. But yeah, my favorite tag belts of my fandom are definitely the WWF/WWE World Tag titles from 85 to 2002. Great stuff.
Fair. Well, if nobody else has any other questions, then I think it's about time for us to sign off for this week. Let's just get back to having some fun in the Magic Kingdom.
Yep. I got an hour and change, almost 2 hours, where I got to queue up for the second half of why I came for sure. So, thank you guys for letting me come out and play today.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay, for running the room. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this went very smoothly. I had anticipated some disasters, occurring, but everything went.
I came prepared, dude. I bought noise canceling earbuds so I could hear you and you guys could hear me without any drama, which is always the chief adventure doing these things on location. And with any luck, we won't get pinged for the Main Street music because that's my biggest worry at this point. Because that was blaring rolling down that street. So we shall see. But in the event, thank you, Jay. Thank you, everybody at home. Really appreciate it. Again, Trials Talk Wrestling. SOP starting tomorrow, man. I'm back in the studio. I'm not leaving for a minute because my kid's got basketball camp and I gotta make sure I'm home for him to come home from basketball camp. Today's an oddity. But we'll see you guys all week. Talk Wrestling, Greg Cherry Show. JJ's reviews of Wayne's World today, Wayne's World 2 Wednesday, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Young Guns. The Young Guns. Yeah, good morning. Young Guns 2 on Monday, Warzone on Sunday, NWA Always Ready on Saturday, and Dominion Saturday nights or Sunday morning. No sleep till Warzone ends. Because that's how it's going to be.
You guys might want to get a couple more super chats in so we can get Jeff and Noah some energy drinks to get through all that.
I must have caffeine. I need my drugs. Anyway, thank you all again. I couldn't come out and play in the first place if it wasn't for y'all super chatting and watching and getting those hits into the channel. So you guys are the reason I'm here, and I love you for it. So thank you very much at home. It is more than appreciated.
Just as a reminder, as we move through the rest of the week and the month, 382.50 more to go, and clippers are taken to the long locks that still reside on my hair that Jeff is all kinds of jelly about, considering that he's younger than me and has less hair than me.
And I'll tell you what, I'll take the clippers to my hair too, darn it.
Why not? So,
Yeah,
for
you know.
the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham, live and on location at the happiest place on earth, the Disneyland Resort in glorious Anaheim, California. I am
Glorious.
the Renegade JJ Williams. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.